As they opened the 1992 season, the Bulls found themselves in an unfamiliar position, standing atop the NBA. And from that lofty vantage point, they saw clearly what lay ahead.
World champion Chicago Bulls!
As a team, I think all of us understood that we had a great challenge ahead of us, because the crown's on your head, the chip's on your shoulder, and people are going to try and knock it off.
And forward from Clemson!
We knew that every team was going to come out and try to dethrone us, if you will, and we just wanted to stay on top.
A 6'7" forward from Central Arkansas.
Everybody we played was, up and geared up and ready to play us, ready to bring us down.
The man in the middle from San Francisco.
There was a lot of pressure on us, a lot of expectations for us that I think that people really expected us to win.
A 6'2" guy from Notre Dame.
We found out early that they shoot for you a little differently when you're the champion.
You came out knowing that you're going to face a challenge every night. So we came out with a focus in mind to duplicate, if not exceed what we did the previous year.
He drives in, and it's Michael. Here's Scottie Pippen to Michael Jordan. What a finish!
If the Bulls felt any pressure, they didn't show it. They played from the start as if their storybook season of a year ago had never ended.
The season.
Reeling off 14 wins in their first 17 games, they began as the league's hottest team and simply refused to cool down.
Here comes Jordan to Pippen. Yeah!
We tried to focus on winning streaks. Get a 3 or 4 game winning streak here. Forget about a loss. Come back, get a 3, 4, or 5 game winning streak the next time out. That's the way you have to play this game, and that's kind of our focus.
Chicago's success had always focused on Michael Jordan, but this year, more than ever, he would share the spotlight with another superstar.
Jordan with it. Pippen all the way. Blocked by Pippen. Scottie on a break.
People started taking notice that this wasn't a so-called one-man team. There was another guy by the name of Pippen.
Pippen to the hole. Oh, what a jam by Pippen.
He, more than anyone on our team, played with that arrogance.
McDaniel. Blocked out of bounds. Scottie Pippen.
Once you become a champion, you got to walk, you got to carry yourself like a champion.
And with Pippen and Jordan strutting their stuff, the Bulls ran opponents off the court.
Michael to his left. Gets it. Slams it.
We get Michael and Scottie going.
Here comes Jordan. Behind the back, Pippen. What a play. What a play.
We're unstoppable.
Pippen. Well, yes, sir. Showtime. Michael Scottie.
You just can't concentrate just on one person, because if you do and you're trying to watch the left, then the right's going to put you away.
Here comes Jordan. To Pippen. There is a highlight, man.
It's like poetry in motion.
Michael with a quick step. Thinks it goes to Pippen.
The fan inside you takes over, and you just sit there and watch him.
The rest of the NBA could also do little more than watch as the Bulls steamrolled through the league.
To Michael. Oh, beautiful work.
And though Pippen and Jordan captured the headlines, there were other Bulls who were quietly contributing.
Horse is our workhorse.
And his brand of work is straightforward in nature.
Blue collar.
Nice pass inside for Horace Grant, who throws it down.
Hard hat, lunch bucket.
Horace is there again. Gets the rebound. Puts it away by Horace Grant.
Playing his part to perfection, Grant epitomized the Bulls' selfless credo.
I mean, if we're going to do it again, we're going to have to all do it together again. That's been our philosophy, and it's our team focus that will give us all our individual success.
Unified by their common goal, the Bulls were bound together more tightly than ever.
We're role players, basically. You try to fit your talents in, and you got to root for one another.
Williams slammed up. Cross-court, Haji open 3.
Everybody that comes in has something to offer this team, has a strength.
Together, the Bulls overpowered opponents and made it look easy.
They're going crazy at the Madhouse on Madison. Oh, nice. Well, yeah.
Piling up win streak after win streak, the Bulls stampeded into the All-Star break with the league's best record. And even in Orlando, they continued to shine.
The head coach of the Eastern Conference All-Stars, Phil Jackson.
His tongue is out.
Craig Hodges has won his third consecutive shootout title.
The second half of the season would prove to be no different than the first. Their play was as devastating as it was dazzling, and expectations soared higher than ever. But again, they would shrug off the pressure, continue to win, and have fun doing it.
Just one of the greatest feelings when you're out there and everything is clicking, all cylinders are rolling, and we're just one of the toughest teams to beat and one of the greatest teams to watch.
Go with it! Go with it! Oh, Scotty! And alley-oop to Dale! Tomahawk!
You don't know where that ball's going to go. You don't know where the pass is going to come from.
Inside, Scott Williams almost pushed out of bounds.
And it basically just destroys the other team because they're always calling timeouts, trying to figure out what they can do.
Jordan! Oh, yeah. Where did he go?
They're winning ball game after ball game after ball game.
You see the time running out. He lets it fire.
We felt like kings.
Jordan to Horace to finish.
We felt
Bang, bang, bang.
indestructible.
Highlight. Oh, yeah. Poster! I don't believe my eyes. What a play. Oh, yeah. Oh, Williams wide open. The Bulls have now clinched home court advantage throughout the NBA playoffs. Boom! This place is going crazy, Red. You got it.
With a season full of cheers echoing in their ears, the Bulls readied themselves for the postseason. With a near-record 67 wins, they had clearly established themselves as the overwhelming playoff favorite. But it had been a long year of defending their crown, and they knew that a fresh set of challenges awaited them.
Well, I got an ample warning from various friends and coaches around the league. You know, the pressure's all on you guys, and you know, you've got to have pressure to play not to lose rather than play to win sometimes when you're the champ.
Their first opponent was a team with nothing to lose. Making their first playoff appearance, the Miami Heat could not have been more excited to face the defending champions.
Sometimes, but Pippen is going to stay with Glenn in most cases.
We was very confident that we could, you know, sweep through Miami, but we knew it was going to be a struggle for us. No matter how well you do against a team throughout the regular season, the playoffs are a different challenge.
As had become their trademark, the Bulls took to the task ahead of them with single-minded efficiency.
Jordan drives again. Counted in the foul. Michael Jordan. Cross court. Purdue. Big Will hammers it home.
We can't afford to exert energy playing 4 or 5 games against Miami. That's a team that we had to go in and beat 3 straight and get on to the next round. Because you don't know what's going to happen up the road.
I can see the wheels turning. The look on your face, say you want it now. Meet me in the room, lady. Beautiful, beautiful girl you are. Telephone ringing, silence it. We don't need no interruptions. About to get deep inside your love, girl. See, I've been waiting patiently, yeah. Turn your phone off tonight, baby. Nothing left but space and time, baby.
Following their decisive first-round knockout of Miami, the Bulls would step into the ring next with a tough and hungry contender from New York. The Knicks awaited the Bulls with a brash game plan in mind and dreams of a championship in their hearts.
Pat Riley says, believe we're going to win. We didn't work hard for 7.5 months just to get past the first round. Let's ball, get up.
From the opening tip, the tone of the series was set.
32,
knowing that they could not hope to outrun the Bulls. The Knicks would attempt to overpower them.
I don't know what happened.
a move-on there.
Yeah. Huh?
He throwing him on purpose.
Yeah. You guys should run away from your offense. Don't run away from your offense.
Frantically trying to regroup, Chicago struggled to counterattack. But New York always seemed to have an answer. Chicago had been taken by surprise. And as the Knicks continued to work their strategy to perfection, the Bulls were helpless to stop them. A stunning upset would belong to New York as they dealt Chicago a humbling defeat on their home court.
Okay.
Game one had been a rude wake-up call.
Okay. Now remember the energy that got us here. We got to rebuild the momentum as you guys had your little thing. You got about half an hour here with the momentum.
But in game two, Pat Riley's troops could no longer rely on the element of surprise. Now it would be the Bulls who would dictate the tempo as they worked their offense to perfection.
Here's Paxson spotting up for three. Yes! The shot clock finds BJ again. He looks inside. He's double teamed. Splits it in the lane. Hangs. Hits!
In this game, the Bulls would play the role of aggressor. Beating the Knicks with quick hands.
You like that call, right, Mace?
And quick feet.
Coaching step up. BJ with a steal. He's going to race against Anthony. Back to Ayers. What a play by BJ. Timeout, Knicks. Listen to this crowd.
The Bulls had regained their championship form. And as the series shifted to New York for Game 3, they continued to outrun and outplay their slower opponents.
Comes up with it on the run. He's bumped. Drives to the hole. Lays it in.
The Bulls had repulsed the Knicks' attack. And taking a 2-1 series lead, they seemed ready to dispatch their tormentors. But though the Knicks were down, they were far from out.
People think because the Bulls are up, we're supposed to lay down and die because the Bulls are the world champion. We're supposed to just lay down and just let them do whatever they want to us. Hey, this is the game. This is a man's game.
You know, all we want is what they have and what they are. That's what championship teams are about. They got to take on all comers.
And the Knicks would prove to be an unexpectedly rugged contender.
They came out and they were being the aggressor and trying to initiate confrontations. And all of a sudden you knew it was going to be a long series because they found a real comfortable style in being aggressive.
The Knicks' war of attrition was beginning to show its effects.
They're physically beating us up. And then it got to the point where we started getting mentally tired.
Battered and bruised, the Bulls were becoming frustrated. And as Chicago seemed to weaken, New York grew stronger.
What you have to understand is that they were playing some good basketball at the time. That was the bad thing, is that it'd be different if they were coming in and just trying to beat us up and not playing very well, and they weren't getting good performances out of people over there, but they were.
Taking 2 of the next 3 games from Chicago, New York would even the series.
Yes, and it counts. Oh, we are seeing one of his extraordinary...
The stunned Bulls would be forced to head home for a decisive 7th game.
Who would have thought it would come to this? The 7th game between the Knicks and the Bulls?
The Knicks' ambush had taken its toll. And the Bulls were feeling the pain and the pressure.
The whole season was riding on that one particular game. And my proclaimed dream team, you know, one game, 48 minutes from now, could all be over with without us having a chance to repeat.
For the first time, the Bulls' quest for a second title was in doubt. A loss now, and their magnificent season would be remembered only for unfulfilled expectations.
No tomorrow. No tomorrow. Let's go. Hey, let's go for it all. Play with that back to the wall. Let's go. What time is it? Game time!
They had underestimated the Knicks' resolve. But with their championship on the line, the Bulls were at their determined best. Relying more on force than finesse, the Knicks tried desperately to muscle their way back into the game. But the focused Bulls were undaunted.
X is one of those players that tries to go out and intimidate you, and I wasn't backing down from his intimidation.
I go both ways. Don't start. Don't start. Hey, don't start. I'm telling you.
Now, McDaniel wants a piece of Pippen. Jake O'Donnell.
There comes a time you have to make a stand, and we had to make a physical stand against New York.
Now Jordan and McDaniel's face. And there's a technical on both teams.
When I spoke up for Scotty at that particular time, it was the support of the whole team, not just myself, that we believe in you. We're not going to let someone come in and actually try to take what we feel you have. And, you know, you got to be strong as well as we're going to be strong beside you.
It was good on his part, you know, to have a teammate or someone to be able to step in and say, hey, no more BS. We're ready for anything you guys ready this out.
Fortified by their unity, the Bulls decisively took control of the contest.
Here's Jordan, splitting through. Jordan with the steal. And then it's stolen by Starks. McDaniel chased by Jordan. It's a clean block.
Closing out the series, Chicago gratefully put this unexpectedly grueling test of their championship medal behind them.
The Chicago Bulls have defeated the New York Knicks 110-81.
I think the New York series did a lot as far as finding out what we were really made of. It tested our characters to see if we could respond to adversity.
Well, I think this team has outstanding character. I think they understand how they have to support each other, both mentally and physically. But I think the character ultimately sets this team apart from the other teams in the league right now.
While New York had tried to overpower Chicago, their next opponent, the Cleveland Cavaliers, would now try to outwit them.
We had a great deal of respect for Cleveland, not because they were because of their basketball skills and ability and their size.
The air of invincibility that had marked the regular season was gone.
Chicago 0 for 11 tonight. They have yet to hit a field goal.
And the Bulls would again be forced to fight for their survival. Unable to solve Cleveland's disciplined half-court offense, Chicago resorted to a relentless inside assault led by Michael Jordan. But playing at this tempo was playing into Cleveland's hands. And after 4 games, the series was knotted at 2. With neither team giving ground in Game 5, the series was still either team's to win. But that was about to change.
It's one of those series that went back and forth until we finally read their team. And if we get a chance to adapt our game and read a team, it's over for them.
With a quarter left in this pivotal game, the Bulls were ready to make their move. The starters would begin the assault.
The Chicago Bulls on fire.
But the bench would finish it.
B.J. Armstrong, left-handed up and off the window. B.J. with 9.
With B.J. Armstrong and Cliff Livingston pushing the Bulls' attack into overdrive, the Cavaliers simply couldn't keep up. Needing just one more win to complete their long journey back to the finals, Chicago was relentless.
Tonight, the game we've all been waiting for. You got a classic basketball game with 2 very desperate and determined teams.
Though Cleveland fought valiantly, the focused Bulls methodically closed out the series.
Oh, what a look from Jordan finding Grant. Chicago Bulls are headed back to the NBA championship round.
So I think it was a mission that we'd be at Portland to play for the championship. But along the way, we had to get through those other obstacles, and we did. Not easily, not in a pretty manner, but maybe it's a test of character that the team was still able to regroup itself despite disappointment and get here. And I think that's who we are.
As the Bulls waited to play for their second straight title, Michael Jordan took time to collect a second straight award of his own.
3 MVPs, 6 straight scoring titles. You are simply the standard by which basketball excellence is measured. Congratulations.
With their MVP leading them, the Bulls were ready to take on the Trailblazers.
Good evening, basketball fans, wherever you may be. Welcome to the NBA Finals.
Here we go. Portland and Chicago. It was almost inevitable. They were the favorites in November, and now they meet in June.
We're all ready for this game, and the noise level here at the stadium will soon be earth-shattering.
The Bulls trying to do what few have done before, and that is repeat.
Let's go, boys. Go, man.
The Trailblazers on a mission, trying to prove that they belong.
The world has been waiting 2 years for this matchup. The feeling that we have right now is like bungee jumping, standing on that tower, standing on that bridge.
It's all about, baby. Let's play. Questions at all? Just play the game. We'll referee. Have a good game, guys. Have a good series.
Having completed their arduous journey through the playoffs, the Bulls entered the finals with a feeling of relief.
Jordan baseline jump pass. Pippen for the slam game.
Take those seats. Take the seats. I got it.
But with Terry Porter starting them off, it was the Blazers who broke quickly from the gate.
Lost the dribble off his foot. 3-on-2 for the Blazers. Drexler all the way. So Portland beginning to fly all over the court. Porter with the open shot. And the Blazers have hit their first 7 field goal attempts.
You haven't got his rhythm yet. For offense. You gotta keep pushing to find your rhythm.
Chicago would find its rhythm in the person of Michael Jordan, who was about to answer the Blazers' hot shooting and much more.
Jordan with the steal. Eluding Ainge. Yes.
Don't hold, son. Let's go, babe.
Now Jordan posting up. Goes to the fadeaway. Through the foul. It counts. Jordan eluding Robinson. Yes.
Oh, he is on fire.
Unleashing a new weapon from his arsenal, Jordan single-handedly took over the game.
Jordan for 3 more. Hits. Boy, when you're hot, and when you're not, you're not. And that young fella is hot.
Come on, let's go now. Come on, we need a spurt here. We got to defend them. Let's go. We got to get back and defend them. We got to get good shots out here.
Despite the Blazers' plans, on this night, no defense in the world could have halted the aerial barrage to come.
Jordan for 3. He is hot. Woo! Well, Michael has gone to a new weapon.
Jordan would drill 6 three-pointers and drive a stake into the Blazers' hearts.
Pippen, 2 men to beat. Drives for the basket. Follow Michael Jordan. Jordan with his magic carpet threw it down. He's everywhere. He's everywhere. He's in a frenzy here. And a Jordan fires another three. Oh, no! I don't believe it. 3-pointers from Jordan. What in the world is going on?
Here's Jordan for 3. Yes. Did you see that look? Michael indicating he can't believe it.
He feels it. There's nothing else you can say other than the man feels it and lets us know.
This is the greatest performance, maybe ever, in the single half, playoff, or in the history of this league.
Chicago fans had witnessed one of playoff history's most spectacular performances. And the second half would be merely a curtain call.
He wants to run. 4-on-2 break. He leads Horace Grant with a slam jam. What a start for the defending world champions of the NBA.
As the Bulls completed the romp, the story of the night was, of course, Michael Jordan.
I started running for that three-point line. I felt a great rhythm. It felt like a free throw, really, from that distance.
The only thing you could just sit back and say, ah, and wow, and woo, and, just like a little kid out there, everything he threw up, he hit.
He was hot, and we all knew it. He knew it, and he just was going to go out there. I don't think he was going to miss from 2, from 3, or from half-court range. He just had that feeling.
There's a lot of series where a game goes like this the first game, the second game's totally different. It better be different. I know we're better than this, believe me.
Entering Game 2, the Trailblazers optimistically hoped for a new beginning, and their strategy was apparent. Every time Jordan had the ball, he would find himself surrounded by Blazers. An emotionally charged Portland team tried to overwhelm Chicago with sheer hustle.
Up a long jumper, airballs it wide right. Drexler dives on the end, and Buck Williams scores! And that may be the wake-up call for the Blazers. Deflected away again, and a tip and a stripped at midcourt. Picked back up by Portland down court. Drexler over! Bill Cartwright with a thunder slam! And suddenly, Portland showing more muscle than they have in the past.
You got to get the ball moving. We're standing around, taking looks. Get that ball, move it. You're not making them work hard enough on defense.
To ignite their sputtering offense, Jordan began to set up his teammates. Coolly picking apart Portland's defense.
Cross-court pass, action open for 3. Did it again! Did it again! Jordan just holding the ball, dribbling with the right hand, signaling with the left, starts his move, wheels in the right corner, Hanson fires a 3, and scores! Bobby Hanson of all people buries a 3. That's the end of the third period. It's a Bulls 77, Portland 70.
The fourth quarter would see Jordan begin to look for his own shot. And as they stretched their lead to 10, the Bulls seemed to have everything going their way.
Now there's a steal by Pippen, foul in the backcourt. And if it's on Drexler, that's 6. It is. Titus fouled out. It just gets worse.